the Curator. I think most people know me as a stylist, but my official title is I'm a creative consultant, and that kind of just leaves lets me wear a lot of hats. I'm a stylist. I definitely like helping artists with their development and helping their look. And I'm also a designer. Dr. Guccienstein's one of the projects I've been working on. And the newest project I've been working on is a boutique owner. I've been, I guess, working in the music industry and fashion and styling people probably for about the past 8 years or so. I've worked with some cool people when it came to styling. I styled the Migos. I've styled 21 Savage, E40, Moneybagg Yo, Eric Bellinger. Got to work with Future, got to hook him up with some vintage shades and get him ready for the Grammy a couple years ago. But yeah, a few people, 21 Savage, Joey Badass, a few people. You're inside the Galleria di Fresco. This is my office, my little private boutique, just my place where I have appointments with my clients, where I style, or I take a nap on my couch, and just where I basically collect all my clothes I've been hoarding all my life.
Well, I see a lot of stuff in here. I'm ready to dive into it. I guess I don't really know where to start because I'm seeing so many different colors and things that I want to touch. So do you want to give me a little tour of how it's set up in here?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of everything. I'm a big sucker for Versace silks, so there's a bunch of Versace silks up there and there. We got some of the heavier jackets, like the Louis, the Dapper Dans and stuff. Some women's stuff, some pants. Most of my t-shirts are over here, but I'm really excited to show you this rack. I'm a fan of your show. I know people go in on their t-shirt collection, so I put together my personal stash of t-shirts that I thought would hopefully do justice for the show. So here we are right here.
Okay, dope. When I first started doing this full time, about 3 years ago, I would see you at the Fleas early in the morning, picking through stuff, finding really cool stuff. And your style, first thing I thought when I saw you was yo, this dude's got a sick style.
Appreciate that, man.
Went on to find out that you are a stylist, and I figured you went to school for that or something, because you really are always dripped out. But
I appreciate it.
Is that the case, or is that just something you picked up along the way? You just always had it?
I got it from my mama. My mom just always, she worked all the time, but her work uniform was always on point. When she tried to take me and my brother back to school shopping, trying to get our outfits. As a kid, you hate that shit.
Yeah.
She wants your shirt tucked in, you're trying to untuck it, but it's stuck in my head at least. What I mean? Just how what looks good. And I just always been a visual dude. I grew up loving hip hop, and one of my biggest heroes is Nas, and Nas looked just as dope as he sounded.
Right.
So when you open up the CD case, you're oh shit, that's what he looks like. Yo, he looked dope. So. Yeah. That kind of just stuck in my head. And then even later in life, I was trying to be a musician myself. So I just made sure yo, everywhere you go, people know who you are. So I just made sure I was always dressed well. And then I was already kind of working in fashion, and I would randomly find these vintage pieces. So I just kept adding to my collection.
Crazy.
And then my wardrobe got big, where like I said, I was trying to make music, and cats were well, fuck your music though. Where'd you get that shirt? Where'd you get that hat? We fucking with your style.
Right.
So I ended up getting more attention from my wardrobe than my music, and that's kind of what happened. That's how I ended up with that. And then I remember that first time I met you, he blessed me with, it was a beautiful velvet souvenir jacket. It was older, it wasn't too old. So I remember you gave me a good deal, and I actually ended up using that jacket for Quavo at the BET Awards. So, that jacket was because that was one of my clients for many years. So I'd always be shopping for myself, and we had a similar size and style. So I'd find something for myself, and then when it was time to get him ready for an event, I remember I bought that jacket off of you, and I had to get him ready for the BET Awards, his performance. So that was one of the jackets I took, and it was a no-brainer. He saw it. Same reaction when I saw it. It's yo, boom.
That's crazy. So, I think I remember. Yeah, I remember that instant when I first met you, and I think you might have even told me that, but I was just I was maybe.
I don't think I mentioned who it was for. I just said but I remember, because it was I remember you were just getting started because I hadn't seen you there before.
Yeah.
And I remember I told you, I was I remember, and that's what's funny is I have a connection with every piece of clothing I buy. I remember where I got it from. It just gets, I'm a clothing nerd, so it's stuck in my head.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts of vintage for me is every piece you remember where it came from. especially if it's like a piece that you keep. You know the whole story behind it.
No,
you know
exactly. And you know what's funny is everything I ever bought was to keep. I never bought it to flip. Like now that I'm getting out of styling and doing other things, like now I'm like, okay, let me sell this all. So now I'm starting to buy stuff to be like, oh, I could flip this. But it never really started. It all started from my personal stuff. And that's just it. It grew into like, let me buy women's shit. Let me buy like this shit that don't fit me. Like,
crazy.
Not that I'm gonna sell it, but it just looked too dope to pass up on. The first thing that got me into clothing was Jordans. So like I had my first pair of Jordan 4s when I was in 3rd grade. And ever since then, I've been trying to get the outfits to match it. As I got older and I started finding vintage stuff, I want to find the shirts I had. So like, for me, everything starts with Jordan. So like, the Jordan 1 shirt, just classic, the Wings logo. I got the red one as well, but the black one just has a nice fade to it, a nice little sheerness to it. The old blue tag.
The condition on this one is crazy.
Right, I got lucky with this one. So everything starts with Jordan for me. So that's one of my favorites.
I definitely feel that because like I talk about this on my podcast, like people ask me, oh, how did you get into thrifting? A lot of it was like, same thing, my mom, always fly, you know, from the thrift, you know, single mom, had to, you know, figure out a way to get fly
and make
on
it
a budget.
Dope.
Exactly. And I picked that up in that I would get J's, and you know, to match the J's, I would go to the thrift, find like a dope tee that had like, you didn't even have to really be heat. Like this would have been beyond me at that time. Like I was just happy with finding something that looked worn in, matched the J's. You know what I mean? So I feel you on the, it had to match the J's, and the J's started.
That's how we grew up. It starts with the shoes, and then you work your way up.
Now this is an iconic Jordan piece because this is for the Jordan 1s, right? Jordan so this shirt came out like...
this is 85.
85.
So here's where it gets even better. So this is the Jordan 1 logo they used for Jordan 1 and 2, 85, 87, because he was hurt for 86 season. So this is the blue tag. Crazy part, Nike stopped using the blue tag after 87 and started using the gray tag in 88. 88 was the Jordan 3s. So Jordan 1 and Jordan 2 had this logo. Jordan 3 had this logo. So this, but what's crazy, Jordan 3 had this logo, so that's 88, but this got the blue tag.
Wow.
So this is, from all my studying I'm doing, this is probably the first piece of merchandise that came out that actually had the Jumpman on it.
So this is wilding right here because we got the blue tag and we got the Jumpman.
Yeah, this debuted 88, this stopped in 87.
Yeah, so I'm getting like a Mandela effect because I could have swore the 1s and the 2s had the Jumpman on them. They didn't in the
ones
OG
and twos. Ones and
wow.
2s. Yeah, 1s and 2s don't. 2s got the...
So these are OG pair of 2s from, what is this, 86?
These are actually from 95.
95, okay, redone.
And what's funny is in 95, they actually retroed these verbatim, just like the 87s, because the 87s look just like this. There's no black piping. When they started redoing these again in the 2000s, they added a little bit of black and red piping to it, but the OGs in 87 had no black piping. It was just an all white upper. Wow. And then this is one of the first Jordans that got retroed, and this was in 95. And then I actually got these and I soul swapped them because all the 95 ones, anything older than like
they crumble,
99,
right?
they crumble. So this is a soul swap one. Fucked up thing is, after I swapped it, they just fit me a little too snug. So
maybe you need to break them in. Either way, that's an amazing soul swap.
Yeah, no, he did a great job. Shout out my man Retro Doc Rick. But now it's a great paperweight. This is the campaign everybody remembers from 88. This is the Jordan 3, Best on Earth, Best on Mars. It's the first campaign that Spike Lee did. And if you notice, this has the gray tag.
Yes.
And everything else from this, like all the jackets, all the pants, all gray tag. So, like, I really think this is probably one of the first shirts they did before they even hired Spike to do the campaign.
Right.
And that's why, like, boom, there's the new logo, the Jumpman, still on the old shirt, the old tag.
That's crazy.
And then finally, when they went to production and figured it all out, like, gray tag, and everything else for 88 is gray tag.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I've never seen this piece here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, and I got lucky enough where I actually have 2 of them. So so I'm willing to part ways with one just because I know I still have one.
One to rock, one to stock.
One to stock, yeah. This one just simple, but it was just such great condition when I found it. I mean, damn near dead stock. Jordan 4. Man, simple, but like I said, I'm a Jordan fan, and even if I don't wear them anymore, I love this. Simple, but...
And just like the styling of this is so like of the 80s, like this kind of marble with the diamond, this font, like I feel like this is, you could tell this is from the 80s, something about that, right?
It's just fire, yeah.
It's got like a Patrick Nagel vibe to it, I don't know why.
No, I feel you. But it's just so like, you're right, the marble gives it this classiness.
Yeah.
And then this one is a Jordan 5 shirt, and what's funny is I bought this a couple years ago because I thought I'd seen every Jordan shirt ever, And this is one of the few I had never seen.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's front and back.
Wow.
But it's just so dope. It's got him flying, got an airplane flying.
That's really
and then,
sick.
You know it's Jordan 5 by the type font they use for that. That goes with the Jordan 590 collection. So
that's another special thing about Jordans. Like certain shoes had certain font, like for the marketing and stuff. So that's how you know.
Exactly, and they would do the tiny little, just small little changes on the font, but it helped you know. Oh, okay, this goes to the 89s. This goes to the 93s.
Like the 11s have that font that I didn't even know it was a font. I thought it was like some kind of like Egyptian or Greek like.
You know where they got that font from?
Hieroglyphic or something.
You wanna know where they got it from?
Where they get it from?
A Journey T-shirt.
Dude, you're right. That is a Journey.
I'm sure you've
font.
seen that Journey T-shirt. I had it somewhere too, but I can't stand Journey, so I couldn't keep it for too long. I only get band tees of the bands I like, so fuck Journey. But yeah, when I saw it, it tripped me out. I was like, oh my god, that's the same font.
Yeah.
So to keep it a bean, to keep it G with Jordan, this is this right here is the oldest piece of my collection. I'm about to trip y'all out. I begged and I got this for my 10th birthday.
Wow.
I'm 38.
Yeah.
I've had this for 28 years. And the reason I wanted this so bad, this is an actual authentic jersey from the 91 season.
Wow.
And so it's crazy because like it's silk screened, it's not stitched on, but if you look at the Bulls uniforms, it wasn't until 93 that they got the black patches with the white outline. So yeah, these were the actual jerseys all the way up to about 92.
Crazy.
You feel it is thicker than the Swingman.
Yeah, I could tell just from the stitching along the ribbing right here, yeah.
But this is like, the reason you see all this here is like, I collect clothing. Like I love clothing, it's art. Like it's timeless to me.
Yeah.
And this right here, like I literally had this since I was 10 years old. It was huge on me, but I grew into it. It shrank a little. And like, this just stays in my closet.
How do you keep a piece like that through all the years, through, you know, hustling? Like, I don't know if you've ever had those times where you're just like, man, I need cash right now. I might have to get rid of some things, and I know this.
There's a lot of stuff.
Get money, you know what I mean? Like, how do you hold on to things like that?
This is the one piece that always stood with me. There's a lot of things like that. Like shoes, for example, because you know shoes were so easy to flip on eBay.
Yeah.
And there's certain shit I'm like, fuck, why did I let go? Or like sunglasses or like Versace shirts that I sold to clients. And I was like, but I was like, yeah, I needed it.
Yeah.
But this one, nah, like it just had that sentimental value. Yeah. Like for me, it all started with Jordan, and this is like that first jersey I had. So
that's crazy. So has it stuck close to you the whole time, or did you like
everywhere I
was
went,
it in storage for a few years and like, oh shoot, it's still here?
No,
like
everywhere
with
I
you
went,
the whole time.
This went
That's
with
dope.
Me. That's my baby right there. I got a couple other ones now, but that's my story. That's tells the story.
With that story, this is a true stash piece right here. Like this has been in the vault. You know what I'm saying? That's like crazy. I love that.
I've had that for, like I said, damn near, 28 years.
Yeah.
Going on 30 years. Yeah, it's crazy,
dope.
man. That's older than some of my girlfriends. Shit. Now we go to rock tees.
Okay.
I love Depeche Mode. I mean, it's just a classic band. But the wear on this shirt, I fucking love it. The fade on this, I love it. I love that it's front and back. I really love that it's got the 1990 mark, and it like, I could wear this when one of those few moons where I do wear my Jordans, like, I like to match it. Like if I got a Jordan 5 on, I like to have a shirt on from 1990. Like, but the beautiful part about this shirt is every time I wear it, every time I wash it and I wear it again, I notice a new hole. Yeah. But I love it. Like,
I have a tee like that too.
Right? Like,
and my girl's just like, yo, retire it. I'm just like, no, I can't even hang it. It stays folded because like the hanger will like mess it up. Yeah. But yeah, I have one like that too, for sure.
And this is mine right here. Like the neck gets a little wobbly. There's always a new little rip, but it just has that character to it. And it's just one of those, like this is like, I remember like my brothers and his homies, like they would listen to Depeche Mode. And it was like them cool dudes that listened to that. So like it has that memory stuck in my head.
You know what? I wonder if it's like, because I have a shirt like that too, and I just tested it the other day, and it's a little dry rot. Oh, so I wonder if that's does this one have that? Have you ever tried it? It doesn't have it.
It doesn't have
cool.
it.
So it's just old and it's just like.
It's just old. It's,
okay, cool.
It's worn to perfection.
Yeah, because mine's a wrap tee. It's a brandy wrap tee, and every time I wash it, like it gets a couple more holes, but it's got the same color fade. It looks a lot like the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, these fades. See, that's why I love black T-shirts, just because they fade so nicely. Yeah. You know, some call it vintage. I call it timeless. Like, because I'm not just collecting vintage stuff. I'm looking for pieces that are timeless. So. Me collecting vintage and me wearing vintage is what ultimately led me to becoming a stylist. Now, as my job as a stylist, vintage clothing played a major part because my job as a stylist, I never wanted my clients to walk into somewhere wearing something somebody else did. So my thing was like, yo, you're gonna come from me because I'm gonna put you in some rare shit that nobody's seen in 20 years. So it's definitely played a big part. You know, I love putting the right shirt or the right jacket on a client that nobody's seen before, or nobody's seen in 20, 30 years, but it just fits him and the occasion perfectly. I'm a sucker for long sleeve shirts.
Same.
And I low-key love Dio. I don't know if you're familiar with Dio.
Of course.
Oh, they're fucking hilarious. Like they're literally considered a metal supergroup.
Yeah.
And like the dude himself is just fucking hilarious. I mean, he replaced Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath and then left that to do his own shit.
Yeah.
But I've been looking for a Dio shirt for a while. I'm a sucker for long sleeves. It's got the print on the sleeve, front and back. And I love reds and purple, how they go together. And
the thing with DOTs is I always find them like super small from like the 80s,
right?
Or I find like complete reprints.
Yeah.
And this one right here is kind of in that real sweet spot. It's on this Delta tag, which is like right now one of my favorite tags.
Oh, word?
A lot of times I find crazy tees on this tag. And yeah, just really good condition, sleeve hits. Really
yeah, I
dope.
think this is probably faded for me washing it because I've been wearing it a lot. But I'm a sucker for long sleeves, and Dio is just like, and it's funny because I hate metal music.
Yeah.
But Dio is like,
yeah, he's a legend.
That's an exception.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dio, actually.
Indeed, man.
Yeah.
You know he was a doo-wop singer?
No way.
That's how
That's
it
crazy.
got his start, yeah. So fucking random.
That's interesting.
More long sleeve, black faded, George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Okay, so I'm not familiar with George Thorogood.
You ever seen La
give me a
Bamba?
lesson on him. Yeah.
Remember that the intro song, "Who Do You Love?" When Bob is riding on the motorcycle.
If I play it, I'll know it.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna make you bust out into song right now.
Bad to the Bone. No.
Oh, okay, I know that one.
Bad to the Bone. He
Yeah.
did that. So it's just so
Who
fucking.
do you love? Okay,
That
no,
one,
I
yeah.
got it now. I got it. Now. Yeah,
Open the
for
scene of La Bamba. Bob's
Yeah.
on the motorcycle. You can see the snake going around.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he says, "I got a rattlesnake for a
Yeah.
necktie." So like,
Just like that real like badass biker rock.
and that's what this
right
is. It's
there.
got that
Okay, cool.
perfect fade. It's on a Lee.
Yeah.
Like got the cobra on the chest.
Yeah, that's dope.
And that's just a hard
I
back
like
hit.
how it's got like that Dodgers.
I was about to say
aesthetic.
that. It says Destroyers.
Yeah.
Like, so I love this.
It's a hard piece right there.
I'm a huge, you'll see I got like, these are my personal stash. Besides Jordan, there's a lot of like rock and roll and music stuff. Like my style derives from music and the music I listen to. And I think most people, like you got that shirt on, I think most people, their style and their personality, a lot of it has to do with the music they listen to. And that's definitely the case for me. I'm a huge Beatles fan. Unfortunately, I never found a really, really dope Beatles shirt, but I have found an occasional Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
I just love it because it has like this, I don't know how to describe it, almost like a broken stained glass vibe.
Yeah, it looks almost like like space blanket material, like
Yeah.
that real like foily kind
Exactly, yeah, because it looks like it has texture to it.
Yeah, with the really cool lighting on it. I love this one because it makes you think about what it is, but besides that, it's just really cool colors.
Yeah, like it can
on a
stand
great
alone
fade.
like a piece of art. So front and back,
That's great.
I'm a huge Beatles fan. Like I've seen Paul McCartney a shitload of times, and so whenever I can find a cool Beatles or like Beatle extended shirt, I'll snag it, and that's one.
Beatles is another one that the tees are always like super tiny.
Yeah, because they broke up in '69, so
Yeah.
like you're gonna find like a '60s shirt, it's already gonna be shredded to death and like
warped.
And dude, even if it was a large, you figure for 50 years of shrinking, like yeah, that shit's a fucking
napkin.
baby tee.
Yeah.
A napkin, yeah. This one, Reasonable Doubt. Couple reasons why I brought this. One of my near dear friends who actually just passed away about a month ago designed this album cover.
Wow.
So like, not only did his name is Adrian Vargas, shout out Vargucci, rest in peace. He designed the Reasonable Doubt album cover and the Rockefeller Records logo. So like, this shirt for me is like my tribute to, this reminds me of him, because every time I see that album, as much as I love Jay, I think of him.
Yeah.
And especially now that he's no longer with us, like, just a little reminder. But what's funny about this is, look who made it.
Yeah, I was looking at that, the Death Row Records tag. So I wonder if they had like a contract to do
They
like
probably
different
got some
rap
licensing,
albums.
yeah. But I just thought it was hilarious because
Yeah.
you think of like two of the major players in the East Coast, West Coast beef,
Yeah.
like, so it shows you it's all business. it's
Original
all money.
merch for this album was probably so rare. Like I don't think I've ever seen it.
Dude.
And if you do see it, it's not like official merch.
Here's
right?
the funny part. I remember I was a huge Jay-Z fan because my best friend was a couple years older than me, was a big fan, and he used to like write in to be part of the fan club. And because Jay-Z would make these home videos. They were movies where he'd basically take like 5 or 6 of his songs and make music videos to it and tell a whole story. So I remember he would write in, like he would buy them. And one time they took so long to ship to him, that they sent him like 4 or 5 Rockefeller Records tees. So the whole squad had them, and like I had it for years, and I don't know what I did. I regret letting go of it, but that was the closest thing I saw. It was just a big ass fucking black T-shirt with the Rockefeller Records logo, and that's the closest thing I ever saw. Yeah,
it's crazy that now I listen to Jay-Z, and it's interesting to think that we're listening to like a billionaire, like a straight mogul talk.
Yo,
like,
that is the American dream.
Yeah, there's exactly, dude. Like he came from just beating on his table in the projects.
Isn't that nuts?
And now he's just like
billionaire
a straight mogul.
He's married to Beyonce. Like, come on. Like,
that's like if you ever heard a Bill Gates rap album when he first started as a young teen. You don't hear that. You know what I mean? So I think I just want to put that out there so you could appreciate Jay's music more.
Oh yeah,
if
no,
you
like
go give it another listen.
Like, dude is literally the American dream, and his whole thing, like that first album, it's talking about 1 foot is still in the streets, 1 foot is out. Like what do I do? So like, his career has been about, all right, I'm gone. I'm still telling stories about how it was, but let me tell you stories about my Maybach now. And and that's why Jay is the only like gangster rapper I ever believed. Yeah. Like his shit sounded like, I get it. Like,
and he says that on all the songs. He's just like I'm not saying the line verbatim, but he's like, a lot of you guys rap about stuff and then hope it happens.
Yeah, no, he's
crazy,
real life. Yeah.
Crazy.
So Jay's the GOAT. My other rap tee, and this is the second longest piece in my collection. I literally bought this when I was 15. I bought this when the album came out.
Sick. Never seen this one.
I love it. This was an actual Wu-Tang shirt.
Wow.
Got the Wu-Tang. This is before Wu.
I don't think I've ever seen this tag. This is cool because it reminds me of like skate tees from back in the day.
Yeah.
How they kind of have like this like shininess to them.
Shimmer,
I love these like blue grape tag. Love this tag. That's crazy.
This was before Wu Wear. This was when it was just like Wu-Tang merch.
Yeah.
And GZA, Liquid Swords, probably one of my favorite albums of all time. And I just thought it was a cool little play, Wu-Tang Pharmacy. And this is one of those things I just knew like it was timeless. I was like, I'm never letting go of this.
Yeah.
Like, I used to wear my shit mad big anyway, so like it always ended up fitting me. And everywhere I went, when it was time to move or like pack shit up, I couldn't let go of this one. So this one, literally, I've had this since I was 15.
Wow. Yeah. So at the time when Wu-Tang was making music, did you feel it in the air like, these dudes are gonna make history? I
was the biggest fucking Wu-Tang fan in the world. And it was funny because when I grew up here in LA, when everybody else was on the West Coast shit, like I was wearing Wallabies, I had camouflage pants, like this was the shit. And and it's funny because like I had a conversation with somebody the other day about rap tees, and I'm like, the only rap tees I ever saw growing up were Wu-Tang shirts. That's the only thing we saw here. There was Wu-Tang, and then like an alcoholic shirt and a hieroglyphic shirt. Like that's why it trips me out when I see all these rap tees pop. I'm like, where the fuck were those? I never saw those as a kid. But Wu-Tang, like you heard them. It was just, I was stuck on Method Man the moment I heard the song Method Man.
Yeah.
So and then they were just such a big fucking group, and then every year like a new member would drop an album. So you just had consistent music coming out.
They were like the first hip hop group, right?
I mean,
for sure.
No, I mean the first one that really made it that big. Yeah. Like it was just amazing because, like I said, every year they would drop something new because it was like it's a Raekwon album, but it really was a whole Wu album. Just more Ray than anything. Next one is like, oh, okay, GZA album. Whole Wu album, just GZA's on every song. Then Ghostface, it just they fucking changed my life, dog. Like they just, as much of a hip hop fan as I was when Wu came, you just had tunnel vision. Like they did it for me, man. They're the gods. That's just funny as hell. Smokey Robinson.
Oh, is that what that is?
It's like the green eyes in the back.
Oh, dude.
But for any fucking stoner, just to see Smokey,
like
that shit is hilarious, and I love it too. It's a oversized best fruit of the loom tag.
This is a great shirt,
and it's just got a cool fade to it. Like,
this is one that like it's just one of these oddball pieces that I would definitely keep for myself.
Yeah, just based off what it says, right?
Yeah, just because the front is like, oh, okay, what is it, like weed tea or what? But then you flip it, and you just got to know, like, Smokey Robinson has these crazy piercing colored eyes.
Exactly. So it's one of those where I don't got to say much, but if you know it, you know
That's
it.
fire, dude.
So this is one of my favorites. I did say earlier that I don't collect shirts of bands I don't like, and I can't stand Poison. But they had one song that I fucking loved when I was a kid. It was called Unskinny Bop. So just on the strength of that one song, and actually on the strength of the fucking logo.
It's great, yeah, it's a great
the
team.
The purples and the greens, like, even though this fades, like, that's still mad bright, front and back, 90, 91, and, like, I remember that song, and, like, as a kid. Yeah. So, like, that's why this is the one exception to the rule, because they had one song I fucked with. But that...
Sometimes it's like that. It's just that one song or just, like, one experience that you're just like, yo, I need that tee.
No, I feel you, and that's mine for me. Yeah. It's funny, because, like, I used to have, remember when Metallica shirts were really popping? I had so many, and then I was like, I felt douchey, cause like, I fucking hate this band, so I sold them all for dirt cheap. Yeah. That was like my first, like, let me get rid of these, cause I gotta wear what I like, but that song, I fucking love that song.
That's interesting how powerful that is, cause like, Darkwing Duck, right, the cartoon. Yes. I used to love that cartoon as a kid. I don't remember any of the episodes, but I just remember I had the toy, I just remember my mom used to be like, yo, that was your show. You know, when I saw the tee, I was like, yo, I gotta have it. And I was at a point where...
the tee?
I did, I had it. I ended up getting rid of it though. But I remember when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is the tee. And even though I don't really remember like the episodes, the nostalgia was so strong that I was just happy to have it. And I think that's kind of what, it's just, the nostalgia is so strong when it comes to tees. It's interesting.
I feel you. No, it's like, that's what it is with clothing. It brings back, it evokes a feeling. Like, I mean, any of this Jordan shit, why? Because I remember being a kid and seeing who Michael Jordan was, like, fuck, that guy's amazing. Like, same shit with Wu-Tang. I still get that same feeling of hearing that song for the first time, so.
And that stays with you for life.
It does, and these t-shirts are staying with me too, man. Next, I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, so I brought a few. Nothing too major. I love this one just because it's my oldest one. It's from '87.
Dope.
It killed me. I walked by a Hollister a few months ago and I saw they had reissued it. That always fucking makes my blood boil. But I love this album. It's got one of my favorite songs on there. I think it's a momentary lapse in reason.
Yeah. It's
got a song called Learning to Fly, which is like one of my joints I have in heavy rotation. The fact it was an '87 and it was like mad long.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, because I feel like that like to find them from the 80s with the length on them is
hard because everything's shrunk down already. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, going back to what you said about seeing them in stores, like that breaks your heart. Like to me, what breaks my heart is like, because I understand business, these stores, they're gonna jump on the wave or whatever. But what's sad to me is, whoever the dude is that's gonna buy the tee and not even know about the love that comes from like the OG piece.
Exactly, they have no idea. And that was one of the reasons I love this, because there's so many Pink Floyds that you see reprinted.
Yeah.
And this was one of the ones like, oh, nobody has this.
Yeah.
Wrong. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But here's a couple other Pink Floyds, '94, front and back.
Oh, dope.
I love the back of this just because the eyes are so piercing.
Yeah, it's sick.
The Division Bell tour. I love that because it's like, is it a pig? Is it the globe? It's both. Like, so.
That's dope. This one looks pretty crazy. I don't know. I can't tell if it's, what I was going to say is that a lot of the bootleg merch from this tour has a lot of pinks and like poppy colors that I love. This one I can't tell if it's boot or not just because I've never seen this logo right here. It's pretty dope.
I just figured, to me the silk screening was so on point and I was like, like I'm taking this regardless, but I love it. Like,
fire. Yeah, and this is kind of glittery too on the back, the mask.
It's got that little effect to it.
That's dope. Fire.
So I love it. I love black tees and another Pink Floyd one.
Again with the bright pinks, you know what I mean? Really dope.
Yeah, like Pink Floyd just,
there's that bed graphic. That's crazy how they flipped the bed graphic from this one.
Yeah.
And then just put it on there. It's pretty dope.
So I could definitely see this being the bootleg version of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, I'm like, I'll take a Pink Floyd shirt any day.
For sure.
This, another Pink Floyd one, probably not one of my favorites, but I think I held on to it because I actually used this for one of the photo shoots I did with Amigos. So like for me, like my whole thing was, it was always cool for me to like put them in a random rock tee, like when everybody's wearing Metallica, like put them in a U2 shirt.
Yeah.
Something else where like other, that I'm sure some kid went up and looked up who Pink Floyd was because they saw him wearing it. So like that's why like I hold on to this one. It's just a simple, it's dope. It goes with everything, just white and blue.
Yeah.
You just throw it on with some jeans and you're good to go. Got the Brockham tag. But just wanted to throw that one.
That's interesting, that thought process that you had in styling them. Like you want also to like spread the joy of Pink Floyd through these artists. You know what I'm saying?
Like that's my mind process. Like it's like, okay, one, I could put them in a Metallica shirt that everyone else has.
Yeah.
It's like, two, let me put you in something no one else has. Three, let me put you in one of my favorite band shirts, and that way, like, now a whole new set of people are gonna find out who it is, because they'll be like, oh my God, Homeboy's wearing it. Who is that?
Yeah.
And then that's how, like, that's the gift of giving, the gift of music.
Yeah,
like,
that's dope.
So, you know, I
do
try
you
to
feel that power? Like, because that's like a powerful thing to be able to do, to be able to influence a culture through styling, like in your case, like styling a rapper with the T. You'll bring awareness out to that artist. Like, do you realize you have that kind of power, or do you? I
realized it one day after, and this was years ago. It was this dude I used to style, one of my mans, King Los. He used to be signed to Bad Boy, and I pulled up wearing something to the crib, and he's like, I see you. And then it was just something so simple, but the next day he did it and put it on his gram, and then you had like all these kids bugging out, and that's when I realized, I'm like, oh shit, like I do have a way to be able to affect these masses, like indirectly. So, and I remember thinking that, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So that did stick in my mind. So like, yeah, when I get a chance to put them in something like that, like it definitely makes me feel good, because that's like, yo, if you got a favorite band, don't you want the rest of the world to know? Aren't you dying to show your friend, like, yo, pass the aux cord, like let me show you this song.
True.
So like, this is how I get to do it. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's like your little Easter egg. Like you put that out there, like, hey, that's my favorite band right there. That's why he's wearing that.
Exactly. Yeah. Because when I style people, like I really try to I don't try to dress anybody like me, but I always try to sprinkle my sauce in there. You know what I mean? So sometimes the sauce comes in a rock tee. Sometimes it comes in like this random like Pendleton jacket. Yeah. But you know, that's part of the game. Yeah. Is to give them your sauce.
Sick.
Most stylists, every stylist, they pull. They go to stores and they buy stuff. They go to showrooms and they pull stuff and then they return it. So you're basically shopping from the same pool of clothing from everybody else was. So what set me aside was that if somebody hired me, it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I actually started pulling and going to Gucci and pulling from there and shopping at these stores. Because before it was like, oh, I got the perfect shirt in my closet for this, boom. Oh shit, that works. So that's what set me aside, is like, I was the stylist who gave you that one of a kind look that nobody else was gonna have. So that definitely set me aside. It's crazy because now vintage has become a thing, and I do feel partially responsible for that. I think I was one of the first, if not the first, to really introduce like 90s vintage fashion into hip hop. But now there's more people doing it. So at the end, it's like, how do you make yours different? And that's what sets me aside. Just I put a lot of my personal style into it, but I also take into consideration who that person is. And it's like, don't make them somebody they're not. Make them the best version of who they are. Just another Pink Floyd one. I just loved it because it was mad oversized. Had a dude in the clouds.
A little bit of light distressing, like, ooh, this is sick.
Yeah, and I liked it. It was just natural. It's on the back, so like, you know, and I love how it's like, I love how it's so washed out where it says "Wish You Were Here," but it's like, you almost can't even see it. Yeah. So and that's just one of my favorite songs of all time. So I got lucky when I found this one. But I'm a huge Beatles fan. I can't really find Beatles shirts, but Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin are number 2 on my list. So whenever I find a dope Floyd or Zeppelin shirt, I'll take it. So that's the Pink Floyd. Next, a lot of designer shit that I'm into, and I think it's rare to see like a cool designer T-shirt at least for me. Like I think just a T-shirt that says Gucci is kind of lame. I like something fun. Yeah. This is one of my favorite shirts. I actually this is one of the few pieces that like I've never really showed anybody. Versace Jeans Couture. It's long sleeve, and it's just got this super bright Medusa embroidery on it. Like,
that's beautiful, dude.
Yeah, to me, thank you. And to me, this is like a work of art. Like, I tell you this, like I never even showed it to the Migos when I worked with them, like, cause I didn't want it, like, cause they're like me and you, like, oh, I want that, like, like this is one of my favorite pieces ever.
And then how does that work? Like, do they keep the stuff that you put them in, or do they
sell,
like?
I mean, if they really like it, it's like, you know, you sell it to them. Yeah.
And that one, you just didn't even want to risk it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's not leaving my.
Dude, that one's beautiful. Yeah, because it's kind of got all the things you love. Like, you love your long sleeves, and then Versace is. So when did they stop? Because they still make Versace, right? But
Versace's still around. I mean, Gianni Versace died in like the late '90s, and like he was like his shit was the fire shit. All the shit Biggie wore, that fucking over the top stuff was him. I mean, the brand is still around, like they're still doing great, but their best point in time was when he was around, because like his shit was amazing. Yeah. But they're still around, like, you know, just like any other brand.
And then how can we know if we find a piece from when he was around, like the actual joints that he made? So like this tag right here, is that a good indicator?
This one, yeah, because it's an older one. I'll give you a perfect example. Like certain shirts will say Gianni Versace, and that if it still has his name on it, then it's usually a pre-death one. Like now, like the tags are different. And speaking of tags, this is one of my favorite ones as well, because this is a tag they used in the 80s.
Wow.
You see it still has his name, Gianni Versace. And you can just see the font is different. They actually redid this font last season and did some t-shirts with it. But this is what I love, because this is like one of the older tags. Long sleeve again. I'm a sucker for long sleeve tees. It just, to me, they're slightly dressier than just a t-shirt. I mean, it's still a t-shirt, but like, just feels like a step above. So, there's that. Another long sleeve. Like I said, for me, it's always hard to find Beatles t-shirts, but this is a cool Beatles shirt to have. This is Versace Jeans Couture Rock Royalty. So it actually has the Beatles and the Sex Pistols on it.
My God, this is crazy.
It gets crazier, I'll tell you right now.
That's wild.
So I love this one, and then I also love this one right here. Versus by Gianni Versace. So like Versus, I don't even think they make it anymore, but you see like Versus was one of their like sub-brands.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Polo had chaps,
right?
Stuff like that. So Versus was one of their smaller lines. Like instead of silks, they did cottons, but it was Versus by Gianni Versace. And the reason I love these two is because I actually have the button down versions. Yeah. And of both of them. So when I was able to find the t-shirt version of it, it just blew my mind. This right here is one of my favorites because it's got our people, it's got indigenous people on it. Like, so to me, it's like, yeah, it's like one of my favorite Italian brands, but it's big up into our people. So I love it. So, you know, and then the Beatles, like, I think for never being able to find a dope Beatles t-shirt, I think the universe made it up to me by grabbing these.
That's what I was gonna say.
So yeah, it was worth the wait.
You don't have no Beatles tees, but you have a Versace Beatles tee. That's
so
crazy.
I think it was a fair trade-off. No, they're just mad simple. It's a Versace t-shirt. See, still has his name, Gianni Versace.
Gianni on it, yeah.
But the fact that it was dead stock with tags, the Gianni Versace label on top.
Super clean.
And then just, yeah. I mean, just, when I think of Versace, I think of like his bright Baroque prints, and it's like taking what he's known for and putting it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Super simple. Like it's not overly dressed. Yeah. Just a t-shirt.
Yeah. And it's a straight t-shirt. Like sometimes you find like designer tees will have like a weird cut to them.
Yeah, no, it's just a straight t-shirt.
This is a straight tee. Like,
that's what I love about it.
Yeah, that's great.
Another straight tee. Just one of these that I always have in my closet. It's a Moschino tee, and I love it because it's actually like, I think it was a promotional tee for like their perfumes.
Yeah.
But what's cool is like, it's just so 90s. Like Shorty has a straw in a perfume bottle drinking it. But like, even recently you've seen them like bring back this big Moschino font with like the teddy bears and stuff. So it's cool to see like, all right, that new stuff is cool, but this was like the original influence, like reference piece from the 90s.
That's fire. Yeah, because usually the when it says the perfume, or does that mean that it was given with the perfume?
Most
like,
likely, yeah, because
like,
you know sometimes
free, right?
they'll give like, you'll come with like a gift bag or something.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure this probably came as a gift with the perfume. Yeah. But it's like, yo, that is so dope.
Yeah, they went all out with this one, even like this gold little
the gold
graphic
on
the bottom.
Like,
yeah, that's dope.
So this is one of my favorites. I just keep. It's like kind of when you have to go somewhere kind of nice but not really. It's like, well, just throw on a cool t-shirt. Boom. Yeah. And speaking of cool t-shirts, I'm a sucker for Picasso pieces.
That one's super clean too.
Thank you. This is my favorite. It's just all over.
Beautiful colors.
And I love it. It's 100% cotton. Like, it's not sublimated. It's just like the time it took to make this is amazing. Yeah. And it kills me because like maybe 2-3 years ago I started looking for Picasso shirts, and all of a sudden they fucking blew up. Virgil wore one. Everyone was like, ah, fuck. Now I gotta pay more. But this is my favorite Picasso. Like, to me, clothing is art, and like this is like a prime example of it. You're literally wearing a piece of art on a shirt.
I always wonder when I see like this piece in particular, like where did they sell this at?
What's funny is I had a conversation with my boy, and like he was telling me, he's like, I'm sure they were fucking merch shirts like that you go to when you go to the museum. So like probably when you're walking out of the gift shop, like this is the kind of shit they were selling. Yeah. So,
and now they're blending in right perfectly with like the Versace's, and you know what I mean? It's just it's art.
Yeah, this is all art. Yeah. Like here's another one of my favorites. I love how it's like they left this side kind of bare. Yeah. And it's got the earth tones to it.
His signature is embroidered on the bottom.
Ain't that something? Just a little extra to it.
Yeah.
The back is mad simple.
That's a beautiful tee. Dude, I've never seen that one. I'm a big fan of all the art tees, Picasso tees, yeah.
Yeah, I love Picasso tees. I got a few other ones in here. I just picked this one up recently.
Oh, I saw James.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to, I don't know if it's US or Us Vintage, but my man James, my man who's the George Michael lookalike.
My dude gets a shout out in every episode, I feel like.
Dude's the man, that's why I love him. But yeah, no, and this one is just like so paper thin. Like this one will probably stay in my personal stash.
Yeah. I was hyped over that one too, because I was like, look how thin that one is.
Oh yeah, I hit him ASAP. Still up? He's like, yeah. Here's a couple other Picassos. This one was cool. It's like they took a scarf and just sewed it on a shirt, but it worked out.
Yeah, it looks dope.
And then one more scarf sewed on.
Sick. Yeah, I've seen a series of these. Is this on the Fast tag? Yeah, Fast. I think those are really dope because they're super unique. You know.
Yeah, and I love this one. They actually found like the shirt, like the red on it just goes well with it. Like it just plays with the color palette. So, but yeah, I love Picasso, and I'm lucky. I got lucky enough to have a few Picasso pieces. So those are the Picassos. What else am I really into? This shirt is special. Like very for anybody.
Special.
Okay.
Dude, this is.
You know
crazy.
The deal then.
Yeah.
So this is like, if there was such a thing as like the Mexican Beatles, like this probably be that Las Cucarachas, man. Like those bookies, like.
Yes.
I was named after the lead singer, so like I literally bought this shirt because I was gonna take my mom to the concert.
Yeah.
And then she ended up leaving town with her husband. So, but this is like one of the most iconic like Mexican.
Yes.
Like. Baby making music. And
they have some dope sounds in there, like their synths and stuff.
Dude,
like they were sick.
Dude, they have a Christmas song that's a banger.
Yeah.
Like these guys are amazing, Los Bookies.
Yeah.
So like I found this, and the fact I'm named after the dude, like
that's fire.
This shit don't fit me, like it fits me like a crop top, and y'all don't want to see that.
I'm a big fan of all the vintage like Hispanic artists tees, cause like, you get caught up, when I first started, you get caught up with the Metallica tees, all the band tees, rap tees, but then like to see one of like a Hispanic artist, it's crazy. That like this one right here, never leaving the vault. And this one's kind of got like a rap tee vibe to it. Yeah, I could just never.
No, I feel you, because it's it's our people, and it's like it's right. You don't see that shit, dog. Like I wonder if they're scattered around everywhere in Mexico, but I don't know. That's the second one I found. The first one I ever found was actually this one.
Whew. That's fire.
Like damn near death stock condition.
That's crazy. So if you're Latino, or if you just know about Los Wookiees, like you're tripping right now, because I've never seen any other merch. To have it on a sweater with the colors, their actual faces. Like my family used to call me Marco Antonio Solis.
Oh, for real?
Because my hair was like when I had the long curly hair.
That's right. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I'm literally named after him. Like
crazy.
Minus the Solis part. Yeah. But so when I was able to find this one, it blew my mind just because like. It's funny, it blew my mind just because I was like, that's fucking Those Bookies, it's so iconic.
Yeah, and you just don't see it, like even in all the searching that you've done, because like I don't have as much experience as you do, but in your searching, always hitting fleas.
You probably do though, because as much as you search, like I'm retired now, but I don't got it like as much as you do, but both of us combined, as much as you search and as long as I've searched, I feel you, but yeah, Those Bookies. Like I said, I bought this one because it was rare as fuck. Years later, I found out my mom actually named me after him. So then I bought this one, and they're just, as people talk about rock and roll shirts, like to me, that's Mexican rock and roll.
Right.
Some more music shirts. This was actually a gift from a very good friend, but it's an older gentleman I know, and he always had this shirt, and the first time I saw this shirt, I fell in love with it.
I love it.
Just the image of it is so fucking stupid. Him smoking and it going in there. It's Dexter Gordon. He's a brilliant jazz saxophone player. But I always commented on his shirt, and then last time I went to go visit him, he's like, hey, yo, here. So this one is staying with me forever.
That's dope.
But even before I even knew of his music, that photograph is just so iconic.
Yeah, there's actually a series of different like jazz artists, and they're always on a black tee like this one, and they're just these great portraits of them. I don't know if it's from the same photographer.
I wouldn't be surprised because like that just
because they always have the same kind of aesthetic,
same kind of vibe. Yeah, no, this is one of those that just. I mean, I'm a fan of his music, but like even before I was, like, this is just one of those that the image got me.
So like in that culture, they used to smoke a lot. They'd be drinking and stuff. So a lot of the T-shirt graphics have either them playing the instrument, whatever,
or them smoking,
Yeah. So you'll see the huge cloud going up, and that one's crazy for that.
This isn't a vintage shirt, but it will. I mean, shit, it's probably 10 years old now, but it's one of my newer shirts that I still keep around. It's from a brand called Muki. Muki by Yusuke. Yusuke Kamiya is one of the amazing designer. And this is one of the shirts I love just because I would forget I would wear it and I forget what it said on it. So the reaction you would get at the supermarket on this was amazing. So shout out Yusuke, one of my favorite shirts, but I mean, it kind of says it all. Eat, sleep, sex, weed, music, and fashion. So this is like one of my modern classics. So
that's dope.
It'll be vintage soon enough. So.
Well, vintage or not, like I think in the show, it's dope to just see what T-shirts mean something to you and why. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, and that's, to me, this is one that like, to the day I die. Yeah. Eat, sleep, and sex. Like weed, music, fashion. If I can't have that, like, why live? You know what I mean? So that's gonna be vintage. Like I'm gonna give it to my youngins when it's time.
Yeah. Going back to that comment that you said about comments that you get at the supermarket. Sometimes I'll go pick up my kid from school, and I'm like, I'll park, and I'm like, wait, what shirt am I wearing? Because you just like sometimes you don't know what. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
I wore a House of a Thousand Corpses T-shirt one time to go pick him up. And it just has like 2 demons on the front, and it says like House of a Thousand Corpses, and the back has another like monster like drooling out of his mouth, and it says everybody dies. And I'm just like, I was already in the school, and I was like, I felt like kind of just like folding it up. I felt bad for the kids. There's probably a traumatized kid out there right now. Who knows?
Hey, fuck it. They're gonna learn today. Shit, but let's see. I got a couple more. This is actually, I love this. I'm a big Zeppelin fan.
That's dope.
So this is technically Zeppelin. It's Robert Plant and Jimmy Page from the 90s. And the funny story to this, it kind of has like that rap tee vibe, front and back. Like I said, I never find many cool Zeppelin shirts, but that Zeppelin hit on the back is so fire. And I had the white one on this. And if you look on my gram, I just posted a picture where Quavo's wearing it. That was one of my favorite ones. And one day we were just getting ready for some photos. He's like, oh, I like that one. All right, so I parted ways with it, and then 2 months later, a few months later, I found the black one.
Yeah, and this one's great because I love the like differentiation of fade on the collar to the shirt.
The funny thing is, when I bought this one, the sleeves were ripped. So what I did is I had another old Zeppelin shirt, and I took the sleeves off that and Frankensteined it. So what's funny is the sleeves end up matching the collar now. So it kind of just took its own form.
Yeah. That's dope. This is one of those bands that unfortunately like broke up or disbanded before we had a chance to.
Yeah, it was just sad. Their drummer died, and they were like, we can't do this without him.
Right.
But like, fuck, they're amazing.
Yeah. They have an like impeccable record. Their music, their loyalty to their music. Like they're not just gonna like, let's do a reunion tour with another drummer. Like once he passed away, which was one of the greatest drummers of all time, John
And they
Bonham.
actually did do a reunion with John Bonham's son.
Right.
Which is so fucking dope. It's like if we're gonna do it, bring his son in. Like, and that is dope. Like they were like, nah, like the show does not go on. But they're like a fucking super group. Like they're amazing. Like to me, it's like the Beatles, and then you got Zeppelin and Pink Floyd right there, and like everything else just spawned from there.
I say when I have Led Zeppelin shirts, I say they're the greatest rock band of all time. Because in a lot of ways they are, like, just like I said, their reputation, their music, insane, you know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of their tees, since it was before our time, if you do find an original shirt, which is super rare, it's small. So what we have to do with is like this tour.
Exactly. Which
in the late 80s, they did a lot of reprints of like the original artwork. Yeah. Which are really good
now
too.
Those are 30-something years old, which is cool, but it's like, it's kind of like the next best thing, because to find one from like the actual 70s or late 60s, you're right, it's a fucking carpet.
It's a museum piece at that point.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
But I'm still looking, so.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of it. Those are my favorite pieces. There's that one. It was funny, I threw this Ben Davis shirt in there. This is one of my favorite shirts from my personal collection. I don't know if y'all are hip on Ben Davis. You fuck with Ben Davis?
I fuck with Ben Davis. I remember when I was a kid, like all the gangsters used to wear.
I couldn't wear these as a kid because my dad would have whooped my ass. I was more scared of my dad's ass whooping than any gangster's ass whooping. Yeah. But this is what they wore, and they're basically just mechanic shirts. But watch, feel this?
Ooh, this one's nicely broken in.
Right? Like this is like 30 years of being washed.
Yeah.
So to me, this feels silky smooth. So the fact that I found a Ben Davis shirt with like that's been broken in this well.
Yeah, because they're usually kind of like starchy,
like
they're
mad starchy because they're like Dickies. They're mechanic shirts. You know what I mean? So it hit me. I was like, yo, this has to have been washed and washed and washed for 20 plus years. So, and it just fits so nice. Like, And it's like, it's baby blue. Who's thugging in baby blue? Like nobody. Like
that will sometimes determine whether I'm gonna keep something, is like graphic, nostalgia, and fit. Like if it's just got a good fit, it just drapes nice.
This fits oversized, it drapes nice, and it's like it's the nod to like where I came from. That's what they used to wear, you know what I mean?
I think sometimes people will see me, you know, because of like what I do, they'll see me in like a shirt that doesn't necessarily have a crazy graphic on it. And then they're like, what's that shirt? Like, they kind of like, why are you wearing that one? Like, you probably got like bangers or something. I'm just like, dude, this is comfy. It makes my shoulders look.
And people don't get it. Yeah, people want the hype and realize like, yo, that shit doesn't look good on you. Like, fuck it. Like all these shirts here, especially the ones I showed you, is like, it's how it fits, man. You put it on, oh, it feels like $1 million. So I feel your pain.
And like I said at the beginning, like for me, it started off not necessarily, I want this grail from this brand, from, you know what I mean? Like for me, it was just like, it looks good on me, it looks good with the J's, that's it.
We're good to go, exactly.
I love that I came from that side of vintage rather than like, I need to get a Nirvana shirt. You know what I'm saying? Which is good too. That other side is fun too. I respect it.
No, but it's got
I love that I came from that.
No, I feel you. I'm the same way. Like it's, fuck the hype. Like do what you like. And if while you're doing it, some hype shit comes along, then hey, it's even better. But like, make sure it's you. I've seen your episode, so I know you're familiar with this.
Yeah, well, actually, this one's a big mystery to me because this was like 90s streetwear, right?
If you really, it's a brand called Gypsies and Thieves, GAT. That's what it stands for, Gypsies and Thieves. So this, if you really want to put your finger on it, this is the start of streetwear right here. This is what taggers wore in the early 90s. I think the brand started in about 89, but like early 90s. All the taggers wore this shit. Like there was other brands like Fresh Jive and like Stjobeck. They ended up like, they were doing stuff like this, Stupid, and then they ended up kind of converting into like rave brands. But this brand right here, Gypsies and Thieves, like this was the cool dude shit. This was like, if you wore this, like you were tagging. Like that means you carried a mean streak in your pocket. Like you knew how to work a spray can. And like I remember just all the cooler older kids. I'd be in 6th grade and all the 8th graders who were like, everybody knew were the taggers in the neighborhood, wore this shit. Yeah. And again, like my dad would whoop my ass. I couldn't even ask to buy one. He'd be like, what the fuck is this? Right. Like, but this is one of those things that stands in my memory. And if you really think about it, like this is kind of like the beginning of streetwear. Like, and it's funny because now we're like, kids will wear a Supreme shirt just to get cool points. Right. This was the opposite. Like you wore this, like somebody was gonna hit you up. Like you wore this because you were tagging, right? Like you weren't perpetrating. Like you were either about it or you weren't. And the funny story about this is I've been looking for these, and my man who sold me this told me, I got another one for you. I'm gonna bring it next month. I go next month. He's like, bro, I brought it for you and I left it in my van, and my girlfriend sold it to the guys from Varsity. And that's the one that Drew bought.
Oh yeah,
Drew.
Yeah, I seen that one.
You got my shirt, man. Quit playing, son. That was for me.
But I got this one from Varsity. Yeah. I had to have it because I'm like, this is the exact shirt that I had. There's pictures of me from like '94 wearing this.
Yeah, Gypsies and Thieves. This is a brand that started out here in LA in '89, and it was really like when tagging culture was very, very like popular. Because I don't know if you remember, like it was taggers and they turned into tag bangers, and then they just got absorbed by all the gangs. Mm-hmm. But when tagging was like in full force in the early '90s, this was what they wore. GAT, Gypsies and Thieves. And it's totally on some taggers shit. Like,
and the condition is crazy on this one too.
Oh, I loved it. Like, yeah, I got so lucky on this one. That back hit is so iconic. Cause I remember walking, you see the back of somebody's shirt and they'd be like, oh, they a cool motherfucker. So this is one of my favorites right here. And like I said, this just has that cultural significance that this is basically like the start of streetwear.
Right, there was something going on in the 90s where it was like skaters, ravers, taggers, and it was just kind of like this, like you said, like this mixed up culture.
And that was like, there's a lot of brands that popped up, like I said, Jenko, Stjobeck,
Stussy,
Fresh Jive, Stussy's been around for even before that as well. But yeah, this to me is like, when I think of like what the taggers wore in the 90s, it was Gypsies and Thieves. That's my favorite one right here.
It's dope.
So I'm still looking for more. If y'all got some more, send them my way. Let's see, I'll give you one more.
Queen.
Just one of the greatest fucking rock bands ever.
Wow.
Just such fucking great condition.
Bro, how are we gonna end it right here and you had this tucked?
Oh, gotta do it. 1980, this shit's older than me. Like, Queen is the fucking shit.
That's crazy because like when I was talking about you know, you can't find Beatles or Led Zeppelin shirts because they're super small. Like this
Queen shirts as well.
This is one of them. And usually when you find these Raglans, 100% cotton like this, they're usually super shrunk, warped up. This one's actually
decent
got
size.
some good length on it, yeah.
This one, if I work out a little, I might be able to fit it, so. But, you know, Queen is like, for me, it's like Beatles, Zeppelin, Floyd, Queen, and War. Like, the top 5 ever.
That's a beautiful Raglan with like these kind of soft pink sleeves. And then
like the color just faded in perfectly, like front and back, slightly like slightly off, but just has so much fucking character to it.
Does it have a year on it?
1980.
1980. Wow, that's crazy.
So it's one of my favorites. What else? I'm a Depeche Mode fan.
This one's nice.
Yeah, this one's cool. It's fucking mad big. But what's funny is I actually Noah Clothing. They just released. They're doing a Depeche Mode capsule, and they're actually remaking this shirt.
Wow.
So I thought it was cool.
The blue rose and everything.
I think they're doing the exact same colorway. The blue on this is what kills. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's all from the same year, 1990, and like the Jordan 6s in '91 when Jordan for the Jordan 6 campaign, they did a jacket that was the same color. Like so, just those little things, all those colors that were used in that same era, all that shit calls my name. So, but yeah, just another Depeche Mode shirt.
Dope.
One of your favorites, Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
They got one of my favorite songs of all time, Head Over Heels. So it's just one of those random bands you don't see many of these shirts of. So I love it. It just fits amazing front and back.
Yeah, really good group. You know, songs that are iconic from the 80s.
Everybody has a song they like.
I love how that graphic on the front of that one's like almost like an art tee.
It is. It was like a Picasso piece almost. Like it's just so, and that's like the beautiful part. Like you think about a shirt like that, like that's somebody's art. Tears for Fears put out an album. That's their art. Part of that art of that album is like, let's do the artwork for the album cover, and then this is an extension of it. So like, you know, you get to really rock with the band that you really rock with. So
sick.
But yeah, those are my t-shirts. Like I said, I was excited to bring my t-shirt collection to y'all, show y'all what makes me tick. I'm just a sucker for fit. I'm a sucker for black fades. I'm a sucker for music. So it's all kind of there, man.
For sure, man. I learned some things just going through this. It's really cool to hear like how people you know, identify with the t-shirt and all that. And like I said, like, you know, you've been doing this for a minute, stylist, got a crazy style. I was always interested to see what kind of vintage collection that you have. You know what I'm saying? And
here it is, man.
all these pieces, you had a story behind them. They have a connection to you. That's dope. Thanks for bringing us in here to
thank you for
check it out.
I appreciate it, my man. Well, the future plan is stop styling and actually taking this collection that I've collected for years. That first was my personal wardrobe, and then I used for my styling clients, and now I actually open it up as a boutique. So that, like I said, my new hat I'm wearing has become a boutique owner. And yeah, I think it was just time to tell my story, because I think a lot of people are like, oh shit, you did that? Or like, oh, you were behind that wave? Like, you know, I put together a team and we're putting the word out. I put together a coffee table book just showing some of my favorite pieces that, you know, that I found, you know, through my lifetime shopping, and how they've affected the world, how this jacket I found was used for this video and blew up and started this wave, how this gold chain got Puff wearing gold again, you know what I mean? So it's time to tell my story and, you know, get my slice of the pie.